Hello there guys and girls and welcome to Train Sim World 2. I'm finally here with a video on it. I'm really excited to finally be in Train Sim World 2. I've done a little bit of it. I've had a little look just to see how everything's working and just to pick up some points to go over in this video. But we'll be doing the Bakerloo line today, guys. We'll be going to Elephant and Castle, so we're doing the entire line. And we'll be using the 1972 tube stock. Very, very iconic. I've travelled on this line a couple times in the real world, so I'm very curious to see how much it will hold up to... you know, reality, to see all the sights and everything else. So yeah, I'll tell you what I think and as we go along. So we'll jump in the cab, we'll get everything set up, and we'll get going. Okay, so welcome to the cab. We're going to get everything set up pretty promptly here because we've got to get on the way. So what we'll do is we start by putting the control key in and switching the control switch to on. We will chuck on our director key and we will set enter. We will set this to off and hold. There we go. We'll set it back to hold. There we go. Turn the saloon lighting on. Open the window so we get some air in here. Don't need the stabling light. What else do we need? Anything here? Gauge light can come on. We will set Elephant and Castle on here. Actually, stop. Don't need any of that. All right. Let's set direction of travel. There we go. Lovely stuff. It's a bit dark, so let's just turn our right cab light on. There we go. Oh, love the sound of the undergrounds. There are, with vehicles, there comes a sound. There's like a sound that's unique to everything. Like, you know, Airbus have that very sort of purring engine sound with their engines, and the tube has the very iconic sort of droney woo kind of sound. I absolutely love it. Every time I'm on the tube, it's like, oh, love that sound. Classic. Okay, so we've only got 10 mph speed restriction here. It's very slow into the station. Good morning, people. You coming to get on my train? At 6:28 in the morning. Actually, I guess that's normal commuting time for Londoners, isn't it? So I've done this line a couple of times in the real world, like I mentioned. So yeah, very curious to see how this all works, because I know the first half of this line follows the main high-speed line, which is the line that's just next to us, which I think... Is it in Train Sim World you go past this line, or is it a different line I'm thinking of? I'm not quite sure. I will need to check, actually, on that. Anyway. Close the doors. Set our first neutral. And we are on our way. Go, we'll bunk the speed up. Need to get moving. So I like having the window open so I can hear all the sounds, because I really like the... Yeah, I just really like how the underground sounds. It's great. 45 mph speed limit coming up. We're only doing 26, it's fine. 6:30, so... running about 30 seconds behind, I think. Which is fine. I noticed that it does it in the Train Sim World 1, the original. It purposely sets you a time that is really stupidly early, and you can never get there dead on time without pushing the speed limit. So it's sort of like when it says you need to be there at 6:30, it sort of means you have to be arriving at 6:30, if that makes sense. So yeah, you know, at 6:30, 27 seconds now. That's the time I should be there, but that's the scheduling time I'm supposed to be there. It's like when you're at a bus stop. It's like it says your bus is due, but it never arrives when it is due, if that makes sense. So it's the same sort of concept. Okay, platform's coming up. Put a bit of brake. Coming in, there's the other train. Okay, we'll just ease it in, nice and easy. It's always nice to get a good crossover. We'll ease some more brakes in here, and perfect. Open the doors. So visually this game looks great, but as you can see on the platform, there is a mad issue where the platform shoots the NPCs into the sky. It's really strange. Oh, it's quite fun though. There we go, both trains leaving at the exact same time. I'll kick it into high gear. So yeah, a little bit on what's changed then from Train Sim World 1 to Train Sim World 2. The first thing you notice, of course, is that visually it's not that different. You would almost think that this is just a major DLC or a major update to Train Sim World the original. But when you pay attention to the close details, it starts to show what the difference is. The first thing, just make sure I slow down for this next station. The first thing you notice is that the tracks no longer do the weird ghosting thing, where they're just sort of spawn, like, you see where these shadows are sort of spawning in, which is sort of to be expected. It was doing that but with the tracks, so you were basically a ghost train. It was really weird, but it all seems to be fixed now. The lighting is very nice now. And obviously the sounds are on point. It sounds really good. And that's the same with all the trains in the game at the moment. So yeah. We're into a halt. Opens the doors. I do like that. That effect with the window and the sound is really cool. You can do it to this side as well, but there's a weird bug where if you open this window, you can't use the control stick, which is strange to say the least. Oh, wrong button. There we are. Oh, it looks so cool. Jump into high gear. There we go. So yeah, another cool thing is how well the shadows and the textures actually hold up. An issue with the first Train Sim World is a bit like you have the issue in flight simulators, where you have shadows that would look really choppy or grainy, and these lines would be very blurry. Like, you see how I move, they get a bit blurry, but that was permanent. It gives you sort of like a migraine effect in your eyes for those who suffer from migraine. It gives you that sort of weird shuddering, and it's really disorientating. But yep, that's all been fixed. This is a very short hop for this next station, isn't it? Okay, jump it to neutral. The fun thing with the tube trains is that you can come into the stations quite quickly and then slow down fairly fast. So you see here, I can just sort of punch it into the second brake, and we will just... It makes that nice ooh sound as we come in. Yeah, we'll release it a tiny bit and add it back in. Splendid. Open doors. 6:35. Okay, we seem to be doing good. Notice I'd seem to. Those cloud textures I've got so much better from what they used to look like. They used to be very sort of paper mache looking in the original Train Sim World. And again, with the sort of the weird shuttering effect with things loading up. You see how the fence, like, you can barely see it, but the fence sort of has to load its silver in if you look at it closely. But before, the fence would literally start just loading here. So yeah, it had weird problems, but like I said, all of it seems to be either nearly fixed or fairly fixed. I mean, you can't expect too much from a a simulator of this standard for trains. Like compared to Train Simulator, you know, the texturing in, you know, realism is nowhere near what it is in this. Although you do get a lot more. That is the only critique I would give. Just going to get on the brakes a little bit harder. We came in a bit quick. There we go. Opens the doors. We're at Wembley Central. Actually, I've been to Wembley Central a couple times. Looks pretty good. Anyone want to get my train? Too bad, I'm going. I would love that to be a station announcement. If anyone wants to get on this train, too bad, they're leaving. Punch into high gear. So, Train Sim World 2 has, as a base game, it gives you 3 lines. It gives you the Bakerloo line, and it gives you the German high-speed line. I can't remember what it is, though, for the life of me. What is it called? It's the really famous one with the ICE train. I can't remember, but you also get an American one where you have the really massive, muscly, like freighter trains, which is really cool. I haven't tried that yet. Unfortunately, Train Sim World 2 still does carry the notorious bugs that Train Sim World 1 had, where it has a sort of dead man issue where you can spawn into the game, you can set the train up properly, but then nothing will happen. It's a weird sort of like integration bug, but all you have to do is just restart and it seems to fix itself. That's the only major bug that I found. There doesn't seem to be too much else, apart from the people that shoot off from the platform sometimes. But then again, it gives a bit of comic relief, doesn't it? You can never take these things too seriously. So I'm just coming to the outskirts of London. Oh gosh, flicking my mouse up. Okay, what we're going to do is we'll ease off here to neutral. If we come across here. Seems to be doing pretty good for time. Stonebridge Park. Whoa! There we go. Got distracted a little bit. Open the doors. So a couple of you will notice that I'm not using the stop markers or the distance to platform markers. Mainly because it just irritates me. It takes away from the realism. Hi, friend. Close the doors. Yeah, it just takes away from the realism, and I like to keep things semi-realistic. Also, visually, it just adds to the immersion. Oh, look, we're going over the motorway as well. Oh, look, there's a stadium. I've never noticed that before. That's really cool. Yes, everything does seem to be fairly realistic then. Everything seems to be where it is. I'm not sure I remember this depot. I'm not that depot, this one. But, you know, for the most part, it's, you know, you do feel like you could be in the outskirts of London. It's really cool. Absolutely love it. Okay, so the next platform, or the next station rather, is Queen's Park. This is the last station that is overground for us, so after that we will be descending into the darkness. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow it down here because I do know that there is a very notorious speed limit that comes up. So yeah, 15. Right, let's slow right down. That 15 speed marker should be much earlier. Because if I was still going in at 30 or 40, whatever I was going at earlier, I would have just completely shot through that. This is also the 72 stock depot, so all the trains stop in here. Okay, we'll just ease it in here. There we are. Open the doors. Wonderful. Okay, and we will lock them. Oh, we will lock them. Okay, we got our green signal. Right. Kilburn Park, that is our first underground station. So I have to be careful with the speed here because in a second we're about to have quite a steep drop into the darkness, and I have to sort of control the braking into it because we still have a 15 speed limit. Okay. Bring me the darkness. Okay, it's starting to creep. Let's just slow it down a bit. There we go, speed limit is restricted. There we go. And this is the sights and the sounds for the next, well, rest of the journey. First platform. Go. Open the doors. Okay, so here you go. This is what I was saying about earlier about the screens. So you see how it's just a static picture of, well, what is obviously a real-world station. I wish these would actually display something in-game. That's the only thing I wish. There we go. So at the time of this video's release, it will be this Sunday, 6th of December. For me, that will be St. Nicholas Day. Happy St. Nicholas Day to all my fellow Europeans out there. If you don't know, Christmas for most Europeans usually starts on the 6th, because that is St. Nicholas Day. Basically, it's like a Christmas before Christmas. It's like a little... Yeah, it's basically the before party of Christmas. It's... The tradition is that you put your shoe that you've polished the night before on your windowsill, and the next day, Santa or St. Nicholas or whoever it is, wherever you are, you would either get coal and wheat in your shoe if you had been a bad person. Missed that platform, kind of. Whoops. Stop! Well, overshot that a little bit. So anyway, you'd get coal and wheat in your shoe if you had been a bad person, or you'd get lots of goodies, sweets, and chocolate if you'd been good. Obviously, today I just got a t-shirt, but I like the t-shirt. There we go. Okay, we'll reset that. Right, sorry for that slight overshoot. when I was younger, one of my favourite things to do was always, every time I got off any underground, even if we were doing like 3 connection undergrounds, that we'd just shoot across to the next, you know, platform, I would always insist to my parents I had to watch the train leave, only because I would love just how quickly they just flew out the station. I mean, it's sort of like it's a guilty thing that we all probably do as well in day-to-day life. Not if you're commuting, obviously, it's something that you're used to. But for visitors, it's always like, you know, you got to see off your underground. And emerge. Oh gosh, didn't mean to slam on the brakes that hard. Let's just coast a bit. There we are. Oh, I can actually see something. There's a bit of a texture point. I like how they've tried to capture the, like, you know, the grease and the dirt in the tunnels, but wish they were a bit more 3D. I mean, that could be asking quite a bit if it came to shadows, but I don't know. Always, these all look like tiny nitpicks, really. They're not essential. Because for the most part, you know, this looks great. Because there used to be, what was it? Was it World of Subways? That was the, I think that was the older sort of London Underground simulator, speed limit. That was quite good, but you know, if you were to play it today, it is dated. Like, you know, texturing and mechanics are all a bit old. It is amazing how far video game simulation has come. Gosh, this is a bit of an empty station. Embankment? This empty? I don't think so. There's my ghost train reflection again. And start closing the doors. So it'll take us a few seconds to lock these doors. We're going to Waterloo. That's our next station. $7:10. Okay, so we are actually making up time then. Somehow. It's probably these little bits of speeding I've done. They've just sort of given us that little boost forwards. Oh gosh. I'm too busy paying attention to the top left and not looking at the new speed. So in recent Train Sim World 2 news, I have just seen today that they have the TGV coming out, which is really exciting. I'm definitely going to buy that. I nearly bought the East Coast main line for Train Sim World, the one from Brighton to... Oh, where is it? I should know because I live near it. Where is it? Oh, I can't remember now. Someone let me know what it is in the description. It's the Brighton to What's It line. But I was going to get that because, you know, the... I can't remember what stock it is, but the sort of the Southern Rail looking train is very common in my neck of the woods. Okay, Lambeth North. So we are getting close now. The question will be, when we arrive, in Elephant and Castle. Is it going to ask me... It's either going to ask me to go to the depot, or it's going to ask me to go into one of the sidings. It's probably going to be a siding. Oh gosh, I'm speeding. I absolutely love the London Underground and Train Sim World 2. What I would like to see is another London Underground, but I want to see like one of the more modern lines, maybe like the Circle Line or something. I want to see one of the modern stock tubes. In fact, I would like an entire dedicated game just to the entirety of the London Underground. I mean, I know that is asking a lot, but wouldn't that be cool? Like a really high quality London subway sim. That would be great. There we go, Elephant and Castle, platform 3, 7:15. We actually might make it in on time. Where is it? It's only 700 yards away. Yeah. Gotta get right on the edge of the speed limit. Oh. It can't make its mind up. At this point, I would come on the intercom and be like, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being on my amazingly eventful tube journey. This is the last station. Please take all your luggage, children, Xbox and furniture off the train. Signal failure. Past the danger. What?